When this young soldier discovered his girlfriend's secret texts with her ex, he never imagined the storm that would follow. His explosive reaction set off a chain of events that led to unimaginable grief when she miscarried their unborn child weeks later. This raw and powerful story explores the dark aftermath of infidelity, the complex emotions of pregnancy loss, and one man's journey through overwhelming guilt, a heartbreaking reminder that in the wreckage of broken trust, sometimes the innocent suffer most. Welcome back to X by X Confidential, everyone. Today's story takes us into the painful intersection of betrayal and loss in a military relationship. These stories are meant to help us all understand the complexities of relationships and how to navigate the most challenging moments of our lives. Now, let's get into today's powerful story. My girlfriend cheated and then had a miscarriage. I think it's my fault. Burner account. I'm sitting here in my barracks room somewhere on the East Coast feeling like the worst person ever. I need to get this off my chest because I can't talk to anyone here about it. 2 weeks ago, I found out my girlfriend Sarah, not her real name, was still texting her ex while we were dating. I didn't find out from snooping or anything. Her ex actually reached out to me and told me, said he felt bad and thought I should know. When I saw the screenshots, I completely lost it. I'm not proud of this, but I just exploded. I called her every nasty name I could think of. I told her she was worthless and that I never wanted to see her again. I said things no one should ever say to someone they love. I was just so hurt and angry that she would do this to me, especially while I'm deployed. She admitted everything right away. At first, she said it was just friendly texts, but then more and more details came out. She'd been sexting him for weeks while I was away. They never met up. She's a contractor here on base too, but the messages were really graphic. Every new detail felt like another knife in my chest. I couldn't let it go. For the next week, I kept texting her horrible things. I told all our mutual friends what she did. I was consumed by anger, just wanting her to feel as bad as I did. I didn't care that she was crying every time we talked. I wanted her to hurt. Then she told me her period was late. At first, I thought she was just trying to get me to stop being mad at her. But she took a test, and it was positive. She was pregnant with what would have been my first child. The thing is, by then she was really sick. She wasn't eating right, barely sleeping, throwing up all the time from stress. I started to worry, but I was still so angry about the cheating that I couldn't bring myself to be there for her completely. 3 weeks after I found out about the texts, she started bleeding. She called me crying and I rushed to her apartment. I took her to the hospital on base and they confirmed she was having a miscarriage. There was nothing they could do. I sat there in the hospital room watching her cry, and all I could think was, I did this. My anger, my harassment, my constant texts and calls making her feel guilty might cause so much stress that she lost our baby. I know miscarriages happen for lots of reasons, but the timing, I can't help but blame myself. We tried to deal with it together. For a few days, we were actually closer than we'd been in months, like the grief was bringing us together. But deep down, I wasn't sure if I wanted to stay with her after the cheating. I wasn't direct about this. I just kind of went along with things while I figured out what I wanted. She could tell I was hesitating, and eventually she called me on it. Said I was making her feel used, like I was just there for support, but had no intention of really working things out. Last week, I finally decided to try again for real. I missed her, and I thought maybe we could fix things. But when I reached out, she said she'd been thinking too. Said the horrible things I'd said to her after finding out about the texts were too much. That she couldn't forget them. She ended things for good, and now I'm devastated. I keep replaying everything in my head. Yes, she cheated on me by sexting her ex. That was wrong. But my reaction was so extreme that I lost both her and our baby. I wasn't enough for her in our relationship. That's why she looked for attention from her ex, and then I made everything worse. I can't stop thinking about what could have been. We could have had a family. I could have been a dad. Instead, I'm alone in my barracks room writing this. Edit 1, thanks for all the comments. Just to be clear, she and I are both stationed at the same base overseas. The ex is back in the States. She was sexting him while I was on a 2-week training exercise in another country. I'm almost certain nothing physical happened. Edit 2, a lot of you are saying the baby might not have been mine. I'm 99% sure it was. The timing works out, and we were together every day before my training exercise. I've spent the last week and a half doing a lot of thinking. I've started seeing the base counselor, which has helped sort out my feelings. The counselor pointed out that while my reaction to the cheating was extreme, it's not unusual to have intense emotions after betrayal. That doesn't excuse what I said, but it helps me understand why I lost control. Sarah and I have talked a few times, mostly about closing things out minus she's getting reassigned to another base soon. We both cried about the baby. I apologized for the horrible things I said, and she apologized for the cheating. I still feel sad, but I'm beginning to accept that maybe this relationship ending is for the best. The trust was broken, and as many of you pointed out, that's really hard to rebuild. Update 3 weeks later, Sarah left for a new assignment yesterday. We had one final talk before she left. I asked her why she looked for attention from her ex instead of telling me she was unhappy. She said she felt like I was distant even before my training exercise, always putting work first. I can see now there were problems in our relationship that I ignored. The miscarriage still hurts to think about. Part of me will always wonder what could have been. The hardest part was telling my mom about the miscarriage. She was disappointed she almost had a grandchild without knowing, but she's been incredibly supportive. If anyone in a similar situation ever reads this, get help processing your emotions. Whether you're the one who cheated or the one who was cheated on, talking to a professional makes a world of difference. Thanks Reddit for being there when I was at my lowest. I won't be using this account anymore after this post. Time to move forward for good. That brings us to the end of today's heartbreaking story. The intersection of betrayal, grief, and guilt creates a complex emotional landscape that can take years to navigate. I'm grateful to our contributor for sharing such a personal journey with us. Thank you all for watching this video and being part of our community here at X by X Confidential. If you found value in this story, please smash that like button and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss our next video. What do you think? Have you ever experienced a situation where relationship trauma was complicated by another loss? Or have you struggled with forgiving yourself for your reaction to betrayal? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your insights might help someone else who's going through something similar right now. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other.